All right, welcome back, and thank you so much indeed for staying with Morning Live. Now, reaction to the developments around the appointment of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shaun Abrahams, continued over the weekend. Last Friday, you'll remember that just after the North Gauteng High Court set aside his appointment and also declared it as invalid, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa was then given 60 days to assign a new head, as President Jacob Zuma was seen as conflicted in this matter. Meanwhile, the presidency has announced that President Jacob Zuma would appeal the judgment. But to discuss this further and to get a clear understanding of the situation, we're joined now by Kagiso Makobe. He is a director from K Makobe Attorneys. Good morning to you, Kagiso. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Palisa, for having me on the show.
Now, what did you make of Friday's judgment? Did it sort of take you by surprise?
Actually, it didn't. You know, one has to consider what has been going on as far as the office of the NDPP is concerned. Tracing back to the times of Advocate Vusi Pikoli, Advocate Mshe, Menzisi Melane, Jiva. So the judgment was not surprising to me at all.
So there's always been controversies around this position.
There's always been controversies.
Yeah. Now, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has been given 60 days to appoint a new head. What's going to happen now? I mean, the National Prosecuting Authority and the presidency has also indicated their intentions to appeal the ruling. So what happens now? What
happens now is that once the Shaun Abrahams appeals that decision, the order of the High Court is suspended. Now, one might think as to the president and because of Shaun Abrahams has already filed his papers. The president indicated that he's going to file his papers. So the order will be suspended until the matter has been decided.
All right. As the NPA had indicated that Abrahams remains in his position, of course, pending the appeal. But on this very same issue, CASAC said that they will prevent this case from being dragged out with an appeal. They will also apply to the Constitutional Court for the confirmation of Friday's High Court ruling. Clarify this to us. What happens here? This application and the appeal, how does it work?
You know, that's a good question, because of the judgment itself noted the president's style of litigation, so to say. It made note of the so-called spy tapes as well as the Nkandla case. So to avoid any delays, the applicants can approach the Constitutional Court to confirm the order of the High Court. However, it's a double-edged sword, because of Shaun Abrahams also has the right to appeal the decision of the judgment.
All right, so if they granted that application by the Constitutional Court, what happens with that appeal process on the other side?
You know, that is why, as much as they will want to approach the Constitutional Court, the court might say, let's wait for the NPA to exhaust its remedies. But at the end of the day, one cannot be precluded from appealing the decisions of any court. Of course, unless they went to the highest court, which is the Constitutional Court. From there on, you can't appeal.
So would you say this would be a little bit too soon for them to approach the Constitutional Court, as in like now?
It will be too soon. It will be too soon. However, given the circumstances of the matter, the agency, they may want to approach the court, but the court will have to decide and weigh its options as to what will be the best option in the circumstances.
And surely you were listening to the judge as he was delivering his ruling on this matter, and you got to understand the grounds of which the case was delivered on. Do you think the president and the NPA will win the appeal if it happens?
You know, the judgment, in my opinion, is a well-written judgment. The issues that the court considered, the issue of conflict of interest, also the issue behind the history of the NDPP. I'm reluctant to say that they will win.
Yeah, but
like I said, when the state attorney has a mammoth task ahead of it, so we'll just have to wait and see, because of it, court might come to a different conclusion. That's the whole point of appealing.
Yeah, and according to the Constitution, of course, the President has the power to appoint the National Director of Public Prosecutions. On the other hand, the judiciary's mandate is to interpret the Constitution itself. What's your take on this? Because some experts are saying that there's nothing wrong with the Constitution, but some people act unconstitutional. Do you think there's something wrong with the Constitution?
You know, we say we have the best Constitution in the world. It can have many rights that have been given to people. The issue of the NDPP is that the president is conflicted. Now, how can the president, as a party who has an interest because of there are charges pending against him, appoint someone who's going to be the NDPP who might decide as to what will the president do? So as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong.
All right. We'll leave it at that, Kagiso. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. That was Kagiso Makobe, director from K Makobe Attorneys, giving us a perspective on the implications of the North Gauteng's verdict that happened on Friday. Let's take a quick ad break here on Morning Live.